What makes you think they were spandex? Why do we advertise that company spandex? They might have been polyester. They might have been anything.
I feel like spandex is the only explanation for the Hulk's pants. I feel like that's... Spandex is the only explanation for the Hulk's pants.
Don't make fun of the Hulk now. I have learned not to make fun of the Hulk, because you never know.
Spoiler alert, guys, Stan Lee is actually the Incredible Hulk.
I can't make out a word you say when you talk. I gotta tell you a funny thing. I'm a very handicapped person. My hearing is crazy. You didn't hear that, I'll tell you again. I'm a handicapped person. I have crazy hearing. I can hear when people talk to me in a normal tone, but when this guy or anybody puts the mic in front of him and he talks to me, it sounds to me like... So when you talk to me, put down the mic. They won't know what you're saying, but they don't count. I'm the guy you're talking to.
Sorry, guys.
I'll repeat it. I hate letting you think I'm less than perfect, but I do have these minor failings.
I want to know who your heroes were.
He wants to know who my hero. See, I'll translate for you. He wants to know who my heroes were. I'll tell you my first superhero. You probably have not heard of him. Jesus, what's his name? Yeah, well, he was always Errol Flynn. Nobody could beat Errol Flynn.
And the Scarlet Pumpernickel.
The Scarlet Pumpernickel, not Pumpernickel. The Scarlet Pimpernel. The Scarlet Pimpernel.
We got there.
The name. Did anybody here read or see The Scarlet Pimpernel?
Woo!
That was, to me, the first and greatest superhero movie. There was this guy who called himself the Scarlet Pimpernel. Nobody knew who he really was. And he was rescuing all the nobles from France that were supposed to be beheaded. He'd go to France and find some way to get those people into a wagon and go through the troops and get them back. And he was great. He was a real superhero, and it was a real life type of thing. And that's when I started to like superheroes. And don't forget the name, the Scarlet Pimpernel. When you get home, go to whatever place you get your old movies at and see if you can get a copy and watch it. I promise you, you will love it. All right, that's the end of the pitch. They pay me for doing that, you know.
Stan is paid by the big Pimpernel industry. You know what? It's your last Texas Con appearance.
My last Texas appearance?
That's what
I
I've heard.
hope this is my next to the last one.
But I
love Texas. I love the fans here. I love everything about this place. I have in trouble with him, but otherwise...
You should talk to my wife. She would agree. I want to give you guys as much time as possible to ask all your questions. There's a lot of you here. We're going to do this traditional Comic-Con style. We have mics here, I believe, in all 4 rows. So if you'd like to ask a question, look for a volunteer right there.
This is what I heard. What was all this about?
That's all I said, actually.
I have to answer questions? You didn't tell me I'd have to answer questions. Now wait a minute. I never signed to answer questions. Who got me in that mess? What if I don't like the question? What if I don't know the answer? I'll be embarrassed. You put me up here to embarrass. You're a DC plant.
It's me, Zack Snyder!
I knew they'd get to me. All right, but I'll play along. Let's get that first question.
All right, here we go. First question.
I have to look over there. I don't see anything. A bright light.
So out of all the Marvel movie cameos, which one has been your favorite?
I don't hear him worse than I hear you.
I didn't hear that either, though. All I heard was love. Your favorite cameo.
Oh, that's easy. Do you remember my magnificent performance in one of the movies? The Hulk was having a drink, and I said, "I want a drink," and he said, "You can't drink this. It'll kill you. This is for strong men or something." And I said, "I want a drink." So he gave me a drink. So in the next scene, they were carrying me out. Now, you may be wondering why such an unglamorous type of thing to happen to me would be my favorite cameo, and I'll tell you why, in case you haven't figured it out. It was the only cameo I've had that had 2 scenes. I'm waiting for another one, maybe 3 scenes, who knows? My second favorite, of course, was the one where Tony Stark thought I was Hugh Hefner, and I'm standing with these 3 gorgeous girls with my arms around them, and I said to the director, I got room for another girl, but he didn't.
I think his name was Tony Stank, though, right? Tony Stank? All right, we're gonna go over here. Hi, what's your name?
Summer,
Summer, right over there. Go ahead, Summer.
what is your favorite Marvel movie?
Wait a minute, why does the voice come from there if he's over there? I hear a voice from there.
I think that's called an echo.
I want you to be truthful with me.
Okay.
Are you sure the guy isn't over there?
Well, it's a young girl.
Oh, it's a girl. If it's a girl, I want everybody's attention. You all be quiet. What's the girl got to say?
What is your favorite Marvel movie?
What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, I don't really have one. I love them all. It's like saying who are my favorite children. That's silly. I've only got one child. But I don't know. I never really think favorites. Usually, whichever one I'm watching at the moment, that's my favorite at that moment, because they're all so wonderful, and you obviously know. Thank you. On behalf of Marveldom, thank you.
All right, right over here. What's your name?
Logan.
What?
Oh my God. Put your hands in your pocket.
What's your question, Logan?
Who is your favorite superhero that you have created?
I guess Spider-Man. He's become world famous. He's kind of like Mickey Mouse in spandex.
Right over here.
Hi, my name is Ben Stricker. My question is, what character were you most surprised about when it became popular?
You can make that out. That's great.
That was a really good question. His question was, what superhero were you surprised became popular?
None of them. I created them. What kind of question was that?
I'm sorry, I thought it was a good question.
No. I would have been surprised if any of them didn't become popular. Then I'd be worried.
Right over here.
All right. Hi, my name's Hunter, and my question is, I know Marvel keeps you pretty hush on all your cameos, but can you tell me anything about your future cameos in Marvel movies?
He's asking about any kind of hints about your future Marvel cameos.
No, but I will tell you, there is somebody working on a movie in which I play a superhero. And it's not going to be me. Someone else is going to play me. I can't tell you any more about it because it's in the works now. but it's going to be a big movie. I can't believe it, but they're working on it. So you better invite me here again next year. I'll have all the details.
Please be Bride Cranston. That would be amazing.
Bryan Cranston, yeah, of course. He'd be a good you. Yeah, he's not bad. I'm sorry Clark Gable is dead. And Errol Flynn, boy, can you picture Errol Flynn as me? Wow!
This is my favorite thing ever. Right here?
Hi. My question is, were there any funny or memorable moments on set, like when you weren't filming?
She's asking about funny moments during your cameos with the cast.
Funny moments when I do cameos.
Like when you're filming.
Well, all the moments are funny because I'm always begging the director, can't you give me a bigger cameo? And the director is always saying to the producer, will somebody shut this man up and just do what I tell him? No, every minute is a funny, wonderful moment. I love the actors. I love the directors. We get along great, mostly because I'm not there too long. And it's doing those cameos is more fun than anything because I'm in the movie, and yet I didn't have to work hard. I'll tell you a funny thing. Once I had to do a cameo, and I came to the studio, and I was wearing a pair of jeans, sneakers, a white shirt, and I think a sweater like this, actually. So I walked, they say you gotta go into wardrobe. So I go to the wardrobe tent, or wagon, really, and the wardrobe person is there, and she says to me, okay, you gotta put these clothes on. So what were the clothes? They were a pair of jeans, sneakers, a white shirt, and a sweater like this. So I said, but I'm already wearing that. Well, I know, but you have to wear our clothes. She got very indignant. So I had to take off what I was wearing, put on the exact same thing, and that's show business for you.
Everything was slightly more khaki.
Well, of course, my clothes fit much better than what they gave me.
All right, I think we're over here.
Hey, out of all your cameos, which was your least favorite?
You can tell what that was?
I think so.
Go ahead.
Which was your least favorite?
I don't have any. I love everything. I tell you what, I must be the easiest to please guy who ever lived. I love everything I do. I love sitting here talking to you, and you'll all be leaving and saying that guy is a fruitcake. But I'm having a great time. I love whatever I do. I'm even tolerating him. There are no cameos that weren't.
Exactly. Yeah, my least, but you weren't in Logan.
Did you see Mallrats years ago?
Yes.
Well, that was more than a cameo. I thought of myself as a star of the movie. But what I'm telling you, the reason I'm telling you this, they're making another Mallrats. And he promised me an even bigger role, so I can't wait. I don't know if I wear spandex or not.
Yeah, I think speak for all of us in saying we missed you in Logan. I thought you would have made a great old man Logan.
I'd have made a great anything.
All right, thanks.
Modesty has never been one of my problems.
You're adorable. Let's go back over here.
Hi. As a creator, I was wondering if you ever struggled with making a story or a piece, and if so, how did you get through it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that either. Can you repeat it?
Sorry. As a creator, did you ever struggle with making a story or anything? And if you did, how do you get through it?
The question is, as a creator, as a writer, was there a story that you really struggled with, or a character that you really had a hard time with that didn't come out?
Actually, there is a character that I didn't do well with, and I'm trying to think of his name. Oh yeah, Diablo. And Jack Kirby and I were doing some strip, I forget what it was, and we needed a villain. And I usually think of a name first, name that I like, and then I create the character to go with the name. And I said, nobody is using Diablo. That's a great name. He said, okay, what do you want me to do? So I said, call him Diablo. So he said, well, who is he? And that made me think. I didn't know. So I sat down and I started thinking, what will I do with Diablo? And I must have thought of something, because we used him in whatever book it was. I don't even remember. But I don't think it ever came out that good. And I hate to have you think that I haven't always been 100% successful and wonderful. But I think that's one area where I didn't do too well. I came up with a name, and I can't tell you today who the guy is or what he did or anything. But he was Diablo, and that's a good name, and don't you forget it. Diablo.
It's gonna be great if this guy's name is Diablo. Was there ever a DC character that you were jealous of that you said, man, I wish I had thought of that?
Wash your mouth out with soap. Gotta tell you something funny. Bob, what's his last name?
Bob Kane.
Bob Kane, thank my good friend. Bob Kane was a very close friend of mine. He and his wife and my wife and I used to go out for dinner a lot, and we were good friends. And he was always saying to me, this was years ago, ha ha, we have a TV series with Batman, and you ain't got none. And we're working on a Batman movie, and Marvel isn't working on any. And oh boy, he lorded it over to me. Now, I'm in a position where I can really sock it to him. And the son of a gun died on me. What kind of a friend is that? I hope you listen, Bob, or I hope you listen, Reggie. I told you I'd make you famous.
All right, right over here. Hello, Diablo.
Just piggybacking off that last question about your creative process, for every good idea of a character you've come up with, how many bad ideas have you had to go through until you found that aha moment?
Okay, so he's asking, is there...
Must have been some tough question.
It was a tough one. He's asking, basically, if there was a character that... Can you re-ask your question? I'm really sorry.
So like, for every good idea you've had...
It's rubbing off on me.
How many bad ideas have you had to go through until you found that like aha moment of an original character that you're trying to come up with?
I feel like I've been up here long enough that I know what he's going to say. He's going to say he's never had a bad idea, but let's ask him. With a given character, how many bad ideas did you have to, like Spider-Man? What's your favorite Marvel character?
Spider-Man.
Okay, all right. With Spider-Man, how many bad ideas did you have to throw out before you really figured it out? Or was it?
Wash your mouth out with soap.
That's his question, I told you.
I don't have bad ideas. I wouldn't be sitting up here if I had bad ideas.
I was
right! I'll tell you a funny story about Spider-Man. If I haven't told you this before, if you've heard this before, interrupt me, all right? It wasn't easy to get Spider-Man done because we were looking for a new superhero. This is way back. My boss said, hey, we did well with the Fantastic Four and whatever else we had. Come up with a new superhero. So, in order to get a new superhero, the first thing you need to do is figure out what power does he have. And I was trying to think what would be a good superpower. And I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I figured, gee, if I could get a hero who could stick to walls. And I started thinking about it, working on it. Then I had to come up with a name. Flyman didn't sound dramatic enough. Mosquito Man sounded funny. And I went down the list, and then I got to Spider-Man. Oh man, that sounded scary and dramatic and nice. And then I figured I'll make him a teenager, because there weren't any teenage superheroes. So that'll make him different. And then I figured I'll give him a lot of personal problems. Because as far as I know, Superman and Batman never had any personal problems. So I was real excited, and I ran into my publisher's office, and I told him what I had come up with. And he said, quote, "Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard." He said, first of all, you can't call a hero Spider-Man because people hate spiders. You can't make him a teenager because a teenager can only be a sidekick. And you want him to have personal problems. Stan, he's a superhero. Don't you know what a superhero is? So boy, I walked out of the office, my tail between my legs. But we had a book we were gonna kill called Amazing Fantasy or something like that. Now, when you're gonna kill a book, nobody cares what you put in the last issue, because the book is gonna die anyway. So just to get it out of my system, I had Spider-Man drawn, and I featured him in the last issue of Amazing Fantasy. And I forgot about it. A month later, after the books, all the sales came in for all the books, my publisher ran into my office. I had a little thing like a closet. Ran into my working space, and he said, "Stan, you remember that character Spider-Man of yours? Let's make him a full series," because that had been the best-selling book we'd had for the whole month. And that is how Spider-Man was born. Let's see, we have about 24 other superheroes. So if I tell you how each one of them was born, that'll keep us here all the time. You won't have to worry about anything.
That would be awesome.
Don't worry, I have a bad memory. I don't remember how the others were born.
Let's go over here.
Hi. What actor that portrayed one of your characters in like the movies, like which one was your favorite? Like, which actor was your favorite?
Which like really, when you envision the character, really
The first, who was the first one?
Tobey Maguire?
I thought Tobey Maguire was just perfect. But I do think all the other ones were good. Every one we've had has played the role beautifully. Maybe it's an easy role to play. If I were a little younger, oh well, what the hell. Not yet, but I'm going to.
He's gonna freak out. Let's go here.
Hi, Mr. Lee. If you could spend a day with a superhero, who would you like to choose?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
If you could spend a day with a superhero, who would you like to choose?
Maybe Tony Stark, Iron Man. Because there'd be sure to be a lot of beautiful women around. And maybe I could borrow some dough from him.
Let's go here.
How did you come up with all the different ideas of the characters that you've made?
I don't know if we have that much time.
Basically asked what you just joked about. How did you come up with all the ideas?
Do you have a specific character you want to ask about?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Well, with the Fantastic Four, I wanted to do something that had a few characters. And I didn't want to make them too super, but I was looking for powers that nobody else had. So I thought that Invisible Girl, the invisibility was a good power, and then I gave her a force field also, as I remember. I had Mr. Fantastic, as he modestly called himself. I had him have the power to stretch his body into any form, which I thought was kind of original. And then the Human Torch, I copied, I must be honest. We had a character at Marvel, before it was Marvel, it was called Timely. When I came to work for them, they had two characters they were publishing. They didn't own them, but they used these characters and paid the artists for them. One was the Human Torch and one was the Submariner. And the two of them were always fighting, fire and water, and I had liked them. So nobody was using the Human Torch when I did the FF, and I thought I would let the teenage kid have the power of the torch. And then, of course, I wanted somebody special for the fourth one. And I decided I wanted a guy who was almost a monster, but he was a good guy. And I didn't know of any characters in comics like that. Later on, we had the Hulk, but that was later. So I came up with the Thing, and I tried to make him a tragic character, but a funny character also, which isn't easy to do, but luckily I'm a wonderful writer. And those were the four characters, and I tried to do another thing too. I didn't want them to live in Gotham City or anything. I wanted them to live in New York City. And when they went to the movies, they'd go to the Radio City Music Hall. And if they had to go somewhere, they'd take the damn subway and so forth. So I wanted it to be as realistic as possible. Even Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, he would rather ride in his Chevy, what's the sport car Chevy has? Not a Camaro. The Corvette, the Chevy. He'd rather ride a Chevy Corvette than go chasing villains. And then I decided to make the girl the heroine's fiancé, so that we didn't have to worry, will they ever fall in love? They're already in love, they're gonna get married. I tried to make everything as realistic as I could with these crazy characters. And I loved the Fantastic Four.